There was a man who had struggled for years to find purpose and meaning in his life. He had come close, but circumstances had always prevented it from happening. And finally one day he got the opportunity. But it was one that he had to take advantage of right away, or it would be gone forever. Excited about the possibilities, he set out on his journey. And as he walked on the route that would take him to the chance to fulfill his life, he came to a bridge that had been built high above the raging waters to protect the town from the spring floods. As he stepped up on one end of the bridge, another person stepped up on the other end of the bridge and started walking toward him. A man who was dressed a lot like himself. And as they came close to each other near the middle of the bridge, our man noticed that the other had something tied around his waist. It was, as he came closer, he realized it was a rope. Looked around, about 30 feet of rope that the man had tied around his waist. And as they came close to each other, the other reached out with one end of the rope and said, "Would you hold this, please?" Surprised by the polite request, the man instinctively held out his hand and took the end of the rope. And the other person said, "Now, both hands and hold tight." And as the man reached with his other hand to hold the rope, the other jumped off the bridge. In shock and disbelief, the man said, "What have you done?" And as the man fell, he came to the end of the rope, and when it abruptly jerked, the man held on tight and braced himself against the railing of the bridge. And then he leaned over and said, "What have you done?" I can't bring you back in. You're too heavy." The other man said, "I know. Just hold on." "What do you mean, just hold on?" He said, "Just hold on. I'm your responsibility now." The man looked around to see if there was anybody else within earshot that he could call for help, but no traffic, no one. And then he looked to see if there was some way that he could tie off the end of the rope, but the boards of the railing were uniformly smooth. Nothing he could tie to. And holding the man, holding the rope, he yelled one more time, What are you doing? I don't understand." And the other said, "Just hold on." Well, he wondered, what in the world can I do with this? And the other person said, "Just tie the rope around your waist." Well, by this time already his hands were beginning to get tired. He couldn't find any way to tie it off, and so he tied it around his waist. And while he was holding that, in desperation, he thought, if I don't continue my journey, the opportunity to fulfill my life will be lost forever. And he thought, one wild thought came into his mind, I'll show the fool, I'll jump off myself. He wanted to live. That was beside the question. Here he was, caught. Then the idea came to him, and he yelled over and said to the other person, I have a plan. I can hold the rope for the time being. I can hold it tight, and you can twist yourself around the rope. Circle it around your waist over and over until you shorten the length of the rope, and then I can help you in. And the other said, I can't do that. You mean you're not willing to take any responsibility for yourself? The other man said, just hold on. The time was drawing very close, and the man realized if he didn't continue his journey, he would lose his one chance in life. And then an idea came into his mind, so alien he had never considered anything like this. But he thought, and then he leaned over the railing and said, listen carefully, because I mean what I say. I will no longer accept the responsibility for your choice. The other said, what do you mean? The man said, I mean that I can hold the rope while you shorten the length of the rope by circling, as I suggested, and I'll help you in. Or you will take responsibility. And the man gave no answer. And so the man holding the rope thought for a while, no change in the tension of the rope. And then he let go of the rope. The story is from Rabbi Edwin Friedman in a book called Friedman's Fables. I can only hope that I told the story well enough, but I offer it to you for whatever its value. Obviously, not as an easy answer to the meaning of life, but as something that will cause you and help you to think. And I hope if you find any value in it, you will think about it as it relates perhaps to your own life, and perhaps you'll share it with other people. But I thank you for listening.